Okay guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. We're here back in Ottawa. Sorry it took me so long to make this video. There was a huge storm this weekend and I was out of town. Now we're back in Ottawa. As you can see here, I'm literally in the debris of a fallen down tree using it as my tripod here. So that's the reason it took me so long to go ahead and make this video, but I want to address the changes that were made to remote raid passes, what my thoughts on it, because I do have some thoughts. And also feel free to comment below your thoughts on this whole change. You know, what do you think about it? Without further ado, let's get right into it. First of all, breakdown of what happened. If you are curious about what happened over this last weekend, I think it was announced Friday, and what the outrage in the community is right now. Well, there was a couple things. Let's break them down real quick so we don't have to read any blog posts. First of all, remote raid pass bundle every single Monday, the $1 bundle, that is going away. That is getting replaced with bundles that include a variety of items. This week's bundle has already been announced and it's going to be 3 incubators. So in theory, in terms of value for money, you are getting more value now with these new bundles, specifically the 3 super incubators to be exact. But you are no longer getting remote raid passes from that one weekly bundle. We'll talk about my thoughts on that in a bit. We also have no more discounted remote raid passes. Before they were 3 for $250. This was initially a discounted price, and Niantic did tell us at the start of the pandemic this was discounted, but this is going away. Now you can get 3 for $300, or 1 for $100. So pretty much just the 3 for $300. It's not discounted. It's just like an easier way to buy more in bulk, pretty much. There's also gonna be a new out-of-app chat feature. So we've been asking for a chat feature for a while. There's no in-game chat feature, but they are saying that they're gonna be adding an out-of-app chat feature. Once this drops, I will make a more in-depth video. It's very light on what we know so far, so we're gonna have to wait for more information on that, but that is coming. And then finally, from local raids, you can now get XL Rare Candy, which we already knew, and also Mega Energy. It's not very specific on what Mega Energy you get, but it seems like anytime you do a local raid, you'll just get some Mega Energy. So pretty much a couple incentives to push people to do local raids more than remote raids. So that's pretty much it. Let's get right into it. The first thing I want to discuss, the biggest thing a lot of people are talking about, is the discounted remote raid passes. So before they were 3 for $250. So that's going to be, I forget the percentage off. It's like, you know, pretty much every 6 remote raid pass you buy, you get a free one. Now, we were aware that this was a discounted price. Niantic did tell us in, you know, a little sliver in a blog post, so it's a little bit hidden, but they did tell us, you know, remote raid passes are going to be discounted. On top of that, they are technically still discounted. They're not, Trainer Tips Nick found a post. I don't even know where it is. I don't want to go searching through all the old blog posts, but they said that this is still a discounted price. So the price could go up in the future to like 125 to 150 Pokecoins per remote raid pass. So that's something to note. Right now, 100 coins for a remote raid pass is going to be still a discounted price, pretty much the exact same price as if you were to buy a regular raid pass. The 100, you can now buy a remote raid pass or regular raid pass for 100 specifically, but the regular raid passes, of course, you can get a discount in the Ultra Box. Now, the main issue here is not really the pricing, because the price is not like, you know, 100 for 1 Pokecoin is not like the worst thing ever. The main issue is that there was no warning given to us about this change. Trainer Tips did a interview with Kelsey, and no hate on Kelsey or anything like this. They are pretty much like the communication between Niantic. So they were pretty much just telling us, you know, what Niantic is thinking and what we're thinking, and kind of passes that on. But in that, they said that they were trying to be better in terms of communication when big changes are coming. I'll play the clip right now.
The most valid point of feedback is something that we still talk about internally, is we didn't give people advance notice like we promised. Mm-hmm. And we are hyper conscious of that now. So a lot of the things we're talking about, any kind of changes moving forward, we are going to make sure we do that kind of advance notice to prepare players, especially because we don't want people buying things that are going to change the next day. That's not fun for anybody. Yeah.
But pretty much they wanted to have more communication when a big change is coming. But this change was literally just dropped on us. There was no blog post about, hey, discounted raid passes are leaving next week. It just kind of out of nowhere just popped up. So unfortunately, you know, I'm not trying to hate on Kelsey or like Niantic, but there was some sort of miscommunication there in which you're saying that you're trying to get more, you know, heads up on when changes are being made, and then you just drop this on us. So that's just something I found a little bit weird. My main issue is just the communication. I don't mind too much the price, but let me know what you guys think of it. You know, increasing prices is never really a fun thing. I think another main issue that comes out actually when I think about this is negative versus positive reinforcement. And this has been a thing that I think I've discussed in the channel in the past, but it's like, is it better to motivate people to do something you want them to do with a positive reward, or is it better to motivate them to do it by taking something away? And pretty much just Niantic seems to continuously, especially when it comes to trying to get people outside, continuously, instead of incentivizing people, which obviously I'm not trying to discredit them. They did actually add the Mega Energy and XL Rare Candies to raids, but it seems like continuously when they do have that incentive, there's always something being taken away to try to motivate. And I don't think that's a very good way to motivate people to go outside. It's better to incentivize them by being like, oh, hey, you go outside and, you know, know, you'll get this, instead of saying, oh, now if you don't want to go outside, you have to pay extra money. I think a potentially way they could have done this is instead drop the prices of regular raid passes, make them like 50 coins per regular raid pass. That would incentivize a lot more people to be buying those regular raid passes because you're getting way more bang for your buck. You're getting 50% off on these regular raid passes. Of course, this could cause a whole game balance issue in which in the future, if they want to change prices, people are going to get used to the 50 coin price. But, you know, I just feel like instead of taking stuff away, they should be trying to motivate people to go out pretty much. Okay, next thing let's talk about here is going to be the remote raid pass leaving the daily bundle. Now, my main issue with this is just how random it is. I don't think removing remote raid passes from the daily bundle is really going to motivate people to go outside. If that's the end all goal of Niantic, how is taking away one free raid pass every single week that some people rely on to do a single raid of a legendary because they have no gyms near them, or they're super rural and they don't have access to any gyms, or they have to walk, you know, 100 kilometers to get to a gym or something. I feel like removing the remote raid pass is just not really working towards their goal. I feel like that's just a nice thing to have in game. I think the main thing I'm trying to say here is I don't think that one remote raid pass is the decision maker for people between, hey, am I going to go outside and play, or am I not going to go outside and play? It's really just one raid pass helps more people, and now it's just going to be hurting more people. In the end, it's just a positive bonus that I don't know why I need to go. Let me know your thoughts on that. I guess potentially, you know, some people may just stay at home because they get their one raid done a week and then they never want to leave the house. But for me, that's a little bit hard to think of, and I don't know. I feel like that's just not really a huge change that need to be made. I understand the increase in prices or whatever because it was discounted and they say there was a discount, but the removing of the remote raid pass, it's just something I don't. Now, those are pretty much the two things that Niantic changed, but I do have 2 points I want to talk about that continuously come up. Number one is going to be a local versus a global community. Now, before Pokemon Go, it used to always be local, right? Everything was local. You would meet your friends, you would go play and all that jazz. And then now with the pandemic, we learned of these things called global communities. And it's not even just in Pokemon Go, it's everywhere in the world. With the connection of internet, people are getting connected all around the world, making friends all around the world. And it becomes this thing in which there's this whole other community that Niantic is not thinking about. And that's the global community, you know, those raiding discords, those random discords, those Facebook groups, all that stuff of just people who chat, who have fun, who are all on each other's friends list, who send each other raid invites, who send each other gifts, all that stuff. And Niantic just needs to keep in mind that that is still a thing. Making changes like these ones are hurting these communities, and Niantic wants to thrive. They want to create communities. That's the whole point of their game. So I think that's just something Niantic needs to think about, is the whole thing of local and global communities. There's 2 types of communities now. You need to think about both, and you can't just always just try to think about pushing local and pushing local. And yes, obviously local is great, but is it worth pushing local and hurting global at the same time? That's just something I'm thinking about. Comment below what you guys think of that. Do you guys think there should only be local communities? Do you think people should be meeting global? Because I've made so many of my friends through global communities. This whole Pokédex YouTube channel is a global community. I met 5 of you. I've met like 5 or 10 fans of you. Those are the only people I've ever seen in real life. But other than that, you've got 200,000 people watching these videos, and you guys are a global community. And, you know, potentially by nerfing remote raid passes, I am hurting that, because now potentially I could be doing less remote raids, or I don't know, you know. Second thing I want to talk about is going to be the fact that games need to change for the better, right? Niantic has this vision, and I think the overall takeaway I'm getting from these consistent changes is Niantic has their vision, they're gonna push the vision, they don't really care too much about it. But one thing you have to think about, and a lot of people always come to my videos like, this is how the game always meant to be, you know? Oh, you know, they're just bringing the game back to how it was. Games need to evolve, right? When a change is made, it's tested. You know, for example, the pandemic, this was obviously a forced change. Niantic was pushed and, you know, pretty much forced to add all these changes to the game to make it more global friendly. But once these changes are added, if they help the game and add more people and more people are having fun, why does the game need to go back to how it was? I think obviously not everything I think needs to stay the same how it was in the pandemic, but again, it goes with Incense. Incense was boosted, it was great, it was so useful for so many trainers, but now Niantic is going ahead and re-nerfing it because that's how the game was. That's how what's gonna bring people back outside. So I think that's something Niantic needs to think about. Things need to be changed for the better, things need to be added to the game, and if something is added and it's great and it helps out, even if it goes against your vision, maybe try looking different at your vision. Again, local versus global community. Maybe think of Pokemon Go now as, hey, we have these 2 communities and we need to serve both of these. Obviously, everything I'm saying here is probably never gonna be put into consideration because Niantic has their vision, and it's been pretty clear that they want to continuously push what they want for their game. But I just think that, you know, just because a game once was like it was doesn't mean it always needs to stay the same, you know? It's like me. It's like a YouTuber. If I continuously just make videos the same, and make these videos, at one point you guys are gonna get bored of them, and I'm gonna have to try to change for the better. And the same goes, and you know, you can't always just think of your heyday, your best days, your best videos, and just keep recreating them. Same with Niantic. They can't just keep thinking back, oh, 2016 was so great. 2016 was the best year ever. We should just try to make everything like it was in 2016, and that's what will create success. No, the games change, everything evolves, the world is always changing, and you need to stay up with those times. And that's just something I think Niantic needs to think about, is trying to stay up with those times. That's pretty much my thoughts on the whole matter. I'm not too bummed about it. My main issue is just the lack of communication. And then for me, the removal of the one remote raid pass is just, I don't really know. Let me know what you guys think of this. Does it affect you? Does it hurt you? And also be ready, because remote raid passes are going to probably be nerfed even more and go up to like 150 coins for one, would be my guess. We'll see when it happens, but pretty much that's the video, guys. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. We're going to see you all in the next one. Follow for more tips, everyone. Guys, look how crazy this is, man. Peace.